needs to get built gets done. Everybody's working at all times. And you know what? 10 years. This is the kind of stuff we've been dealing with for 10 years.
American Chopper first appeared on the Discovery Channel back in 2003, becoming one of the earliest reality TV series to exploit the drama and intrigue of an interesting workplace for entertainment purposes. Its unique aspect of documenting the personal relationships of the cast and the conflicts that arise from the stressful challenge of building custom motorcycles earned the series countless fans. Initially, viewers tuned in to satisfy their curiosity about Orange County Chopper's latest product. However, towards the end of American Chopper's successful run, viewers remained glued to their screens for all the arguments and disputes between father and son partners. Other than the drama between Paul Tuttle Sr. and Paul Tuttle Jr., the remaining cast members and employees of Orange County Choppers further attracted the audience's fascination. The success of the show soon led to the creation of various spin-offs, and when Jr. left the show, it opened up greater potential for drama as he became his father's latest competition by opening his shop down the street. Do you want to win any of these items on your screen? If so, make sure to watch the whole video, leave a like and comment a hidden message. And without being said, let's get ready to the video. Discovery saw it as an opportunity to create yet another spin-off, this time pitting father against son. While the competition heated up, quickly reaching boiling point, so drama ensued, and Discovery sat back and reaped the financial benefit of yet another brilliant idea. In the meantime, the audience remained transfixed, intrigued about the growing conflict, and fascinated by the beautiful marvels rolling out of both workshops. Of course, the other Tuttle family members and the cast were caught in the middle of the father-son feud, trying their best to keep the peace while remaining focused on their jobs. Unfortunately, in 2010, the drama dried up somewhat when the original series ended. 2 years later, the spin-off creations also came to an end, much to the dissatisfaction of many viewers and dedicated fans of American Chopper. As the show came to a close, so did Orange County Choppers, which forced the employees to seek new horizons and find other means of making a living. Sadly, even Tuttle Sr. was affected by the end of American Chopper, and as a result faced financial difficulties. If you're one of the show's most dedicated fans, you would probably wonder what has happened to the cast since the show ended. After a thorough search, we've located all the favorite cast members, and we're happy to report that most of them are doing just fine. Well, perhaps not everyone is doing so well. Following the success of American Chopper, Paul Sr. once again attempted to cash in by creating a similar reality television series. Unfortunately, his revival efforts met too many difficulties to succeed, with most of the failures perhaps unsurprisingly stemming from his own mismanagement. At the time, Sr. had no financial support, forcing him to seek outside investment to produce the new show, which would have been called Orange County Choppers American Made. With promises of lucrative success and a chance at glamorous fame, Paul convinced businessman Thomas Derbyshire to invest millions of dollars into the project. Unfortunately, Paul had other plans with the appropriated funding, which of course didn't please his new investor, resulting in Derbyshire filing complaints against Tuttle Sr. in April 2017, accusing him of committing fraud, specifically of using the money on personal expenditures instead of using it as agreed to create the new reality show. Derbyshire made further accusations, claiming that Paul intentionally undermined the show's production by taking a long fishing trip that delayed filming, and when Sr. finally showed up for filming, he refused to work with the Hell's Angel writer, Rusty Coons, to which he'd agreed when he signed the contract. Things between the two partners worsened when Paul attempted to improve his ownership share to a 50-50 agreement from the agreed 51-49 initial exchange. More allegations flung around in court, with Derbyshire adding that Tuttle committed product placement deals without his consent. The result of the legal battle was that Tuttle lost, and the new show never moved beyond the planning phase. Barely a year later, Paul Sr. appeared in court once again, this time for a mediation hearing with JTM Motorsport. But instead of settling things through peaceful negotiation, Tuttle lost his temper and nearly assaulted the other party. The dispute unfolded after Tuttle failed to hold to an agreement with JTM Motorsports, who agreed to work with his Corvette in exchange for exposure on the show. In the end, court officers escorted Sr. from the courtroom, and the case was heard in front of a judge. Just when fans thought that things couldn't get any worse for Sr., the retired reality star filed for bankruptcy due to his financial losses, and through all the lawsuits against him, Tuttle tried to improve his position by seeking legal protection from bankruptcy status. If he could prove that he didn't have the means to pay off his debtors, then he would gain a legal reason to not repay debts or to extend the repayment period. Unfortunately, Paul's plans backfired. According to the paperwork Tuttle filed, he admitted to owing 50 creditors more than $1 million, which included nearly $200,000 in unpaid taxes, because his net worth amounted to $1.8 million, and that he earns roughly $15,000 a month, but spends $12,600 on necessities. Paul could declare himself officially bankrupt. However, in 2019, the trustee in charge of Tuttle's fortunes petitioned the court to dismiss his application. According to the trustee, Paul couldn't provide the correct documentation, in addition to neglecting to hand in income tax return transcripts for 2017 and 2018. Tuttle also failed to provide sufficient paperwork to prove that his financial status was in decline. As a direct result, Tuttle couldn't claim any bankruptcy benefits and was required to pay off his outstanding debt in full. In an attempt to save his finances, Sr. placed his luxurious New York estate on the market, initially hoping to sell it for $2.9 million. The 39-acre property, located in Montgomery, New York State, certainly seems worth the asking price. However, in his desperation to sell the property, Paul repeatedly dropped the price. But in 2019, the property was still on the market at an asking price of $1.6 million. It seems that Tuttle just can't take a trick. Dedicated viewers and fans of American Chopper would probably remember Vinnie Demartino, one of the most skilled and committed fabricators employed by the Tuttles. As many might know, Vinnie parted ways with Orange County Choppers in 2007, with fans speculating that he most likely became tired of the internal conflict. Vinnie, on the other hand, claimed that he left because of professional boredom and opened his own workshop, V-Force Customs, and made guest appearances working as an outside contractor for American Chopper. V-Force Customs operated successfully for the next 5 years, but when American Chopper came to an end, Vinnie discovered a newfound interest in four-wheel machines, saying goodbye to motorcycles for good. In 2013, Vinnie sold off all his motorcycle equipment and used the money to start up an automobile servicing workshop in Walden, New York State, called Demartino Motorsports. It seems that while Paul Sr. had a few bad experiences, his most reliable employee still enjoys greater success without him. After all, Vinnie had stated that while working at Orange County Choppers, he had no room for advancement. As memorable as Vinnie may have been, the other fabricator working for the Tuttles, Rick Petco, who started working for OCC shortly after American Choppers debuted, also became a cast member adored by fans. Rick's loyalty to Sr. and his ability to remain friends with Jr. even after the split may have been the reason why Rick won over so many viewers. Rick's loyalty never came into question, as he stayed a part of the cast and Tuttle family right up to the end of the show, and even continued to work for OCC once the show went off the air. In 2012, Rick married Brittany Cockerham, and surprisingly enough, Tuttle Sr. and Jr. placed the differences aside, at least for one day, to attend his wedding. In 2015, he became the father of two adorable girls, and at the time, still worked at OCC. However, after growing tired of the long drive from his home in Pennsylvania to the OCC workshop in southern New York, Rick finally called it quits, and after working for more than a decade at OCC, accepted a position at a workshop closer to home. According to the latest information on Rick, he currently worked for the Pocono Mountain Harley-Davidson shop in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, just a mile away from home. He also spends some of his free time fabricating handmade knives under the name RPD & Co., operating the small business from home. When Cody Connelly began working for OCC as an intern, he was a mere 14 years old and worked for the Tuttles for quite some time. Cody joined the OCC workforce long before cameras invaded the workshop, and after matriculating from high school, continued to work for OCC until 2007. After Vinnie parted from the company to start his workshop, Connelly abandoned the Tuttles as well, going to work for Vinnie. It seemed though that his time working for the Tuttles wasn't over, as after a couple of years working at V-Force Customs, Cody started working at Paul Jr.'s design shop. However, his career in motorcycle fabricating ended after he filed lawsuits against his former employers, in which he claimed that they only paid him for 1/3 of the episodes he appeared in, and also asked for compensation for a motorcycle Sr. promised him but never delivered. Connelly also claimed that they used his likeness on merchandise long after he left the show and never compensated him in royalties. He demanded at least $250,000 in compensation. The latest news on Cody suggests that he is currently working for an unknown utility company. Like father, like son, doesn't seem to be an accurate description of the current circumstances in the Tuttle family. While Paul Sr. faces financial difficulties, it seems his ex-partner and oldest son, Paul Jr., enjoys lucrative success. Although Paul Jr. owned 20% of his father's company, which he helped establish in 1999, Sr. nonetheless sent him packing. However, Jr. later admitted to Fox News that his father actually did him a huge favor by firing him on the show and the OCC workshop. Following his termination, Paul ventured to create his own company, but intelligent as Sr. is, he forced Jr. to sign a year-long non-complete course. However, this actually gave Paul enough time to prepare and effectively plan his new business. In a short time, Paul Jr. Designs became OCC's toughest rival, but this didn't inspire Discovery to create the aforementioned spin-off. While waiting for the clause to expire, Paul Jr. kept himself busy with other projects, which included building a dog park in Montgomery, New York, as well as redesigning the Coleman Road Trip Grill. Through hard work and determination, Paul Jr. has achieved a higher average net worth than his father, estimated at a decent $2 million. While the other Tuttles enjoy some success, it seems the youngest son of the family, Mickey, might not be as lucky. Long before the show ended, Mickey grew tired of the drama in the family business and attempted to make an independent living by opening an art gallery, where he subsequently had the opportunity to showcase his creative side and maybe sell a painting or two. Unfortunately, his venture didn't work out, and in 2014, the gallery closed its doors. He then created a web series, Bummin' Out, intending to provide an insight into New York's homeless societies. Instead of gaining success, Mickey's ventures unfortunately caused more legal troubles for the family. In early 2020, the court awarded photographer Scott Gunnels over $200,000 in damages. Gunnels filed a lawsuit against the Tuttles in 2019, claiming that they used his photographs on merchandise without permission or paying royalties. He also claimed that Mickey used one of his photographs to promote an art exhibition, but illegally removed his company logo from the picture. With the financial troubles Paul Sr. faced, he had no other choice but to sell the original OCC workshop. However, Paul decided that at least a small benefit from the shop's fame could produce a profit, and as such, they converted the old workshop into a family fun center. The center will play host to go-karts, escape rooms, arcades, and numerous other family activities. Aside from this, Tuttle Sr. also ventured into a couple of business investments, which include the launch of a product called Tat Seal. Known the world over for his iconic mustache and his wide array of tattoos, it would only seem fitting that Sr. would create a topical product that claims to reduce the pain and inflammation of getting ink done. Sr. markets the products with his own image and claims they produce it from bioceuticals that are safe, effective, and healthy. Although the revival spin-off of American Chopper became a sad failure, fans of the show can still catch up on any of the old episodes, reliving the once forgotten drama, and of course, all the marvelous art pieces created by OCC over the years. Due to popular demand, a rerun of the show aired again in 2018, and dedicated fans could feel free to tune in again. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.